somewhere or the other, I can also sense a sense of excitement and eagerness amongst you all for the NASCOM report launch. All right, so let's not wait. Let me call upon Mr. Aniket Sudhanshu, Senior Analyst at NASCOM, and Mr. Sashi Kumar, Head of Sales India, Indeed.com, to launch the Return to Workplace Survey Evolving Towards Hybrid Operating Model report. There we go.
Good afternoon and welcome everyone. I'm Aniket Sudhanshu, Senior Analyst at NASCOM Insights. Since the COVID-19 pandemic, the future of work transformation has accelerated significantly, and we at NASCOM have been closely analyzing how the future of work in India would look like. We have launched a range of reports ranging from resilience strategies of technology industry to outlook for gig workforce. Today, we're launching a new report in the Future of Work series. For the launch today, we have honored to have Mr. Shashi with us. Mr. Shashi is the head of sales for Indeed India. At Indeed, he is responsible for driving the sales both for enterprise and corporate, new business development, and for Indeed, and has a deep experience of over 16 years. Welcome, Shashi, to the launch of NASCOM Indeed report on return to workplace, evolving towards hybrid operating model.
Thank you.
Today's event will have 3 sessions. One, a report launch, followed by a fireside chat with Mr. Shashi, and followed by the presentations of the key findings of the report. I would like to request Shashi to formally release the NASCOM Indeed report.
I would declare the report formally launched, Aniket, and I'm sure all of us will benefit from the findings in this report.
Thank you, Shashi. So, Shashi, just to open the chat, I'd like to get your perspective in terms of which trends do you feel are likely to drive the future of work in India?
That's an interesting question, Aniket. We have been part of the world's largest social experiment over the last 1.5 years, and there have been many learnings. Some of them have been very positive, and some have certain drawbacks in the situation that we found ourselves in. And really, it's the experience that companies have gone through in this time that will inform the trends for the future. In my understanding and my belief, I think the biggest trend is going to be a hybrid workforce for companies across the world, including in India and across sectors as well.
Absolutely. And I believe even in the report, the key findings point towards the hybrid operating model being the future operating model. I'd also like to get your thoughts in terms of return to workplace in India in general, and also specific focus in terms of how do you see the return to workplace panning out in the technology industry in India?
Specific to tech, I think as far as India is concerned, the tech industry has been the place where there's been the most innovation across all trends. And we will see the tech industry lead in this as well. The experiment that we've gone through in the last 1.5 years will inform some of these activities of how companies work with their employees. They will be able to clearly divide roles into one, where you need people to be based out of office, roles that can be hybrid, and finally roles that don't need people to come into office. And it'll be clearly interesting to see which roles fall under which bucket. And that will also possibly help with availability of talent and availability of people being able to work in smaller towns as compared to larger cities.
Absolutely. I think the hybrid work model also brings in a lot of diversity and a lot more inclusion to the workplace. I'd like to get your perspective in terms of, the research partnership with NASCOM. What are the synergies do you see? What is the target audience, and how can this report benefit the industry?
I think the beauty of this report is that it addresses this road forward from both the perspective of the employees and the employers. It looks at what worked well for both of these sets, and also what are the aspirations of companies and also aspirations of job seekers. This presents a very holistic view. And this partnership was really well matched. One, because NASCOM has been the voice of the tech industry in India, and Indeed has been the voice of job seekers and a leader and pioneer in jobs related information. So really this partnership was possibly the best that could have happened to bring out this report.
Thank you, Shashi. And that was a great way to introduce the report. I'll now just present the key findings of the report for all the audience that has joined today. So when we look at the key findings of the report, employees and employers are equally interested in returning to workplace in a hybrid setup. We are likely to see that by January 2022, nearly 50% of the workforce will return to office for up to 3 days in a week. From an employee perspective, the workforce that is under the age of 25 and above 40, which is basically the junior and the senior management, wants a sooner return to workplace as compared to middle management. And female workforce is equally interested in returning to workplace. Better infrastructure, hardware, social connect and bonding with peers, and lesser distractions as compared to work from home are the top 3 reasons why employee prefer to return to workplace. Employees also believe that safety from COVID-19, flexible work timings, and better collaboration and communication with the supervisors were the top 3 reasons why they enjoyed remote working. Further, employees expect the organizations to have a 1 to 3 month roadmap to bring workforce back to the premises, and employees under the age of 25 in general require lesser time to return to workplace as compared to others. In terms of an employer perspective, employee health and safety remains a key consideration for return to workplace, and it was voiced by over 81% of the organizations. Nearly 60% of tech industry organizations in India, tech organizations in India, will reach readiness to reopen office spaces by January 2022. Data security stays the focus of which employees will return to workplace first. In terms of how the model is evolving, 70% of organizations are looking at hybrid work models beyond the pandemic, and organizations which have a workforce of more than 1,000 employees are more likely to adopt a hybrid operating model as compared to the rest. With that, I would like to thank all the attendees who have joined us today for the launch of the report. The report is now available for free download at NASCOM and NASCOM community website. Thank you.
Thank you, Aniket, and thank you, Sashi, for those interesting insights. And what clearly appears that that hybrid model is something what could be the future as far as the workplaces are concerned. Thanks once again.